Hello, everybody. My name is Pup-Teen from the Geeky Pup Show. Here
And
on
we're
the Geeky
back
Pup Show.
here with wait, you're not Zach.
No, I'm not Zach. Wait,
Zach got
he's
old.
not Zach. He's been replaced by a Skrull. Oh, wait, sorry.
Brought
It's
to you
just
by
LK.
the letters L and K.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have the green makeup that they used in the show.
That's okay. We'll just put Froggy on your face.
I'll just smother avocado all over you.
Yeah, I'll just hold this.
That works perfectly.
I realize that it's green.
Hello, I'm Puppetine. To my side is Froggy, and below is the original hand friend, LK. And he's maybe a Skrull. But we're here today to talk about Secret Invasion, the new series on Disney Plus that stars Samuel L. Jackson. And, well, I guess we should just hop right in. Speaking of hopping, Froggy, take us away.
Take us away. Good night, everybody. Oh, this episode is just... I was having a hard time trying to follow it. Maybe because I'm trying to stay awake, too. Nick Fury comes back from space. Apparently, he's been leading up this program for the president. It's called Saber, the defense program. I'm thinking bad chance it's going to do if you don't have the Avengers. As far as we know, Hulk is AWOL. They don't have Hulk anymore, so if they do get invaded, it's like, what's the point? But anyway, he comes back to Earth because the main Skrull from Captain Marvel, the best movie ever, they made $1 billion. Talos, I think his name is. His wife has died, and maybe Fury was having an affair with her. I don't know, but apparently he went from. Well, why else would he come back?
Hello.
That part I didn't pick up. So you know.
Here's the thing. I love the actor so much that plays Talos. So it's great being able to see him with a normal face because he doesn't sound quite as ridiculous as he did in Captain Marvel.
Seems really weird. It seemed like Fury. Like I guess he's supposed to have PTSD because he got blipped,
dusted,
or dust to the wind. I don't know, but at the same point, I'm like, he kind of looks like he just had his girlfriend just died. You know, too.
Let's talk about the end of the episode in a second.
So he's friends with Talos. They've been together, and I guess he made a promise that he wouldn't return to Earth. Because I just
want to go ahead and say this starts out with Martin Freeman. I believe that's his name.
Yes, Bilbo Baggins being chased.
Yes, as Agent. What is it, Ross?
Agent Ross from the. As far as I know, we've only seen him in the 2 Black Panther movies, right?
Yeah, Everett Ross. Yeah.
Yes, Everett Ross. Yes, the Black Panther movies. I swore there was like one other thing that he appeared in, but I can't.
Falcon and Snowman.
Did he appear in that?
I think so because they didn't.
We might be just mixing it with the government scenes of
no.
Wakanda Forever.
Pretty sure that was in Jimmy Woo, but I mean, who cares at this point? But
he was in the Falcon and the Snowman, is what they like to call it.
Okay,
because appearing Zemo.
The opening is you're following him, and he goes to this agent who basically starts his Joker rant. What if society isn't what we think it is?
Yes, we got a little bit of what's his name? The crazy guy. They're turning the frogs gay.
Alex Jones.
I mean, a little Alex Jones. It's the Charlie Day meme. If you've seen, from It's Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's all connected.
The classic conspiracy, bulletin board with all the things, and it's all connected.
But here's the thing: Martin Freeman gets told that society is being infiltrated by the Skrulls. We know the dossier with Agent Fury and all that back then, but now they are infiltrating people that we know. They're replacing people that we know. And so basically with that, it seems that, okay, I'm going to take this to Fury and I'll let you know. And that's when the conspiracy guy tackles Martin Freeman to the ground. And well, Everett fights for it, and he uses his gun, shoots the conspiracy theorist. He leaves, and he calls in for an extraction. And Maria Hill is there to pick him up. But he has to get to the spot first, and he's being followed by some figure in the background. He's coming, he's approaching, and he ends up jumping off of a building, hitting the wall, and falling to the ground.
I just got flashbacks of the Hobbits because how little he is. He got this huge guy chasing him.
Well, that was one of many kind of just confusing things in this. Was I wasn't 100% sure if his extraction he was contacting Maria Hill, or if it was Maria Hill was working with the guy that takes him out. Because it could be it could have been played both ways. I thought they were trying to play a little fast and loose, and do kind of like a classic deception of you think he's contacting one person, but in fact it was somebody else. But I mean, that said, for that beginning part, and this kind of goes throughout, it was blatantly obvious that he was a Skrull.
Well, it was obvious to me once he hit the building that he was a Skrull. Yes.
No,
because before that, it leaves you wondering, and then when he almost dies, that's when you realize, okay, that's not really Martin Freeman. Well, it's really Martin Freeman, but it's not really Everett Ross. And when Telos reveals himself in his he has a human form that looks like his Skrull form, if that makes sense.
There he is.
Zachary. Wait, no, you're a Skrull because LK is here.
Wait, why do I have to be the Skrull then?
Because originally LK was a Skrull.
Oh, well, why does the last man in have to be a Skrull?
I think Froggy's a Skrull. He's green.
He's the green one.
How do we know you're a man?
I don't know.
You
His
could be
beard.
a little girl.
My beard, yeah.
But yeah, we were just getting past the opening, really. We were just saying, Martin.
Yeah. Wow, I'm kind of bummed because I liked Ross. I thought Ross was fun. He was one of my favorite parts of Black Panther and Civil War. But
he's not dead, right?
Dead. Well, yeah, no, because I guess his human counterpart is locked away somewhere.
Well, I assume that he's locked away in that one chamber.
Yeah,
where everybody else is, which is something they did take away from Secret Invasion, although I mean not quite the same piece, because I think the human counterparts were like held on another spaceship.
They were on like a spaceship or in a prison or something, if I remember right.
Yeah. But it's basically similar idea. So
yeah.
But yeah, he should still be alive, because it wasn't Agent Ross that got killed. It was a Skrull.
Yeah, we also should go ahead and address that the Skrulls here, they don't seem to be needing to lock people away to take their forms or use them. So right now, Everett Ross could be in Wakanda because at the end, didn't he have to end up leaving the government?
Well, hold on, though, because you saw how they took that one guy who took his form, and then he took his mind.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why they're locked away, and I think you could make the argument, at least with the way that he responded to certain questions, that it seemed like that the Skrull,
had a bit more insight,
copied Ross's mind.
Perhaps. Well, which means hopefully we get to see him again soon.
I'm just hoping they didn't turn him into a vegetable.
Yeah.
No.
But again, I mean, ultimately, as we go through the show, does it really matter?
I
don't
know
what you mean by that. Like,
I guess we'll get to it when we give our grades on what the.
I did like at the end that Fury had two good eyes.
See, that part I have a gripe with. I like my Nick Fury with the eye patch. I have a gripe with that.
You didn't get the joke.
Nah, I guess not. Yeah.
No, it's at the end. Fury, 2 eyes, but only one working eye.
There's 2 Furies. Each have a
Yeah.
good
Oh yeah. Okay,
But-
okay.
But let's go ahead and talk about throughout the episode. One of the weird things about this show, I feel, and LK was saying before that nothing really happened in this episode, like they need to pick up. But I feel the pacing of this episode was incredibly fast. You kept going scene to scene to scene to scene to scene to scene. You didn't have a moment to like break it down, slow up the spy angle, which that's what it's going for. It is going for like a Winter Soldier kind of feel.
a little bit.
I've got to completely disagree with that. I thought the pacing on it was near glacial in terms of just how long it took to get to stuff. And maybe this is a good point to address it now. There were so many things in here where I was going like, what? When did that happen? What? When did that happen? When did Fury go to the spaceship, and when did Talos's wife get killed, and what are they referring to here? And it's kind of like, this is not the show if you're a casual Marvel fan, if they're going to keep doing this, because I have no idea what the hell they're referring to.
As far as we know, this is the first we don't know anything before this. In any of the movies, they didn't mention about Fury.
I imagine that all that will probably be elaborated on as the show goes on, which isn't my favorite form of storytelling, but I have seen it done successfully. I don't know.
I also have to say we knew that Fury was being impersonated by Talos for since what is it? Far From Home.
Far From Home. Sure.
Yeah, it was revealed that Fury on Earth right now wasn't really Fury.
Right.
It's Talos in his place, and Colby Smolder was actually
Soren. Was that
Soren?
Yeah.
Really?
Where did this come from?
That was in Spider-Man
Far From Home, the end credits scene.
The second one, the one with Mysterio.
Okay, I watched that movie and I don't recall that at all.
That's it's either towards the end or it's an end credit scene.
It's an end credit scene.
It's an end credit.
Yeah.
Far From Home gets overlooked a lot, so it kind of makes it worth going back to.
It's also far from my memory. That's how old it is.
It is a little.
Yeah.
Old. It is a little.
But again, I mean, the whole thing. I guess we'll get to it at some point. But the whole thing with his daughter is just.
Talos' daughter is Emilia Clarke, who's also Sarah Connor.
Also, Khaleesi. We're
Yes.
going to overlook the good role that she had, and we're going to go straight to the bad, the bad Sarah Connor.
At first, I thought she was like going to be like the main big bad villain. I'm like, she's right at the base. This guy just shows up. Yeah, what's going on, guys? Got a little hat on, and then he's like, the Russian guards are like, she shows up, and she's like, show us your true form. He takes off his hat, turns out Skrull, puts his hat back on, becomes another black man, whatever, and. She is so freaking short. I'm like, what is this 15-year-old girl here for?
Yeah, I you know what? Until I had looked at the credits and I was like, oh, that's right. She was supposed to be in this. I had no idea who that was.
Yeah.
You don't recognize Emilia Clarke?
I'm about to say, I recognized her pretty instantly.
I
watched a lot of Game of Thrones.
Not with the dark hair and just thinking this was like some 16-year-old girl. No.
I couldn't figure out why Elizabeth Olsen got ugly.
She doesn't look anything like Elizabeth Olsen.
I know
she's not ugly.
She doesn't look ugly at all. I had to deal with this earlier. I was watching with someone else.
She's a filthy human.
Just to clarify, that's the Frog's opinion. Nobody else here on the.
Yeah, I was about to say I do not affiliate with that.
Yeah, and Michelle Pfeiffer's hot.
No, I don't.
Michelle Pfeiffer is hot. I can like both. I am the best of both of you.
Yeah. One other thing, I don't know. So did they make up Saber for the MCU, or because I know of Sword? Because I remember Sword being the outer space platform.
Yeah,
run by Agent Brand and all of that.
Yeah,
that might be new. That might be new since 2012.
Yeah, because they made Sword as in the MCU kind of a replacement for S.H.I.E.L.D. that basically specializes in weapons.
Sword, I thought Sword was just like the outer space parallel of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, that's what it was in the comic book.
Yeah, that's what I had believe Sword was. Saber, I don't know if Saber's taking its place, or I would assume Saber would be taking its place, but I don't know anything about it.
So,
I
yes,
think they might have referenced it in WandaVision, because that's where
so-
Monica Rambeau.
Yes.
Can you fact check that?
Yeah, I just did. It actually, they just made it for the actual show. So apparently,
okay.
since Stark's funeral, Fury's been running this new space station.
Because I know the trailer for the Marvel shows him on the space station, on the Saber space station, I guess.
So at the end, he'll be going back.
Yeah, presumably. Yeah.
After he deals with the small Skrull invasion, he'll go right back up into space.
By the way, can I
Assuming
positive point for me? I'm happy the Skrulls are bad guys and not the good refugee people from Captain Marvel. I like Skrulls as bad guys.
I'm glad
I was
they're
very
diverse.
I saw somebody saying that
a faction of Skrulls.
I want to say that I saw earlier somebody say this is what the Skrull vigilante whatever terrorists are what the Flag Smashers wanted to be.
Yes. Can I point out that I'm happy that the Skrulls are diverse terrorists?
What?
Yes, they, as Alcade pointed out earlier, they chose to look like oppressed people when they're oppressed aliens. So they chose in Russia, let's not be white. Let's make ourselves look even more oppressed by taking the form of diverse characters.
Two of them. The main guy and the one guy at the fence. Everybody else was just random.
Yeah.
Plus, they're inside of a nuclear facility.
Yeah, they're
no
isolated.
humans are coming anywhere near.
They're kept away. Because remember, they can expose themselves to radiation longer.
I gotta ask: Are they in Czechoslovakia?
No, they're in Russia.
No,
Well,
I meant
Russia.
You mean Chernobyl?
Chernobyl, yeah.
You mean Chernobyl? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Chernobyl would be Ukraine, so that's a whole nother thing. But
yeah,
I mean, I will say with that, I did appreciate that they did throw in the one line to explain why there were, Skrulls and then human-looking Skrulls at the base.
Because what is it? The longer they say human.
Well, the whole explanation was, the ones that are human, those are the warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to stay human because they adapt more and become harder to detect.
Yeah, that's it.
You being Skrulls.
I appreciated that too.
Because when he went through the gate and he was being brought into the village, my first thought is, okay, if this is supposed to be the new Skrullos or whatever the hell they called it, and everybody's free to be themselves, why are there a bunch of human-looking people around? So
right.
I appreciated that they had a one-line explanation for that.
Yeah, I appreciated that too.
Oh, if only, Maranya. If only. But the fact that
I don't think they'll have him. I don't think they haven't cast him yet. Yeah, I don't think they've casted him yet.
Turned into cows.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if they did manage to make it to sneak in a joke about cows or something. That'd
actually,
be funny.
that would have been great. Is Martin Freeman's character say he was a Skrull? He's walking past a farm with cows, and then they attack him.
So what I'm getting from this is that I probably shouldn't read Secret Invasion.
No, Secret Invasion in the comics is going to play out very differently than the show.
Yeah, but
yes, especially considering that I'm reading.
There's similar beats.
It's up and down. It depends on if one of your favorite characters turned out to be a Skrull or not.
Yeah, I'll just point out that the ending will probably be the same as the show.
Have you read Secret
Invasion? End up being cows.
Yeah, I hated Secret Wars all the way through.
Not Secret Wars.
Secret Invasion.
Sorry, Secret Invasion. All these freaking secrets. Who cares anymore?
I like Secret Invasion. I think that was one of Bendis's better events that he wrote.
Yeah. So should we get to the next introduction?
Yes.
We talked about Emilia Clarke. We talked about that.
Yeah. So
Colby Smulders.
After we get through the scene, with Everett Ross, and he gets run over by the car and turns out to be a Skrull. Then we see that Nick Fury comes down from his spaceship
with a long beard. Yeah.
Immediately, as if we didn't need to know that yes, Samuel L. Jackson's 74 years old, and this is Old Man Fury. He immediately starts to kind of stumble and has difficulty walking with a limp and all this other nonsense.
And he jokes around with Taylor saying, "You're 140 years old. You midlife crisis." He's like, and they joke around that, and then Fury's like, my midlife crisis was the Avengers.
Was getting together. Yeah, the midlife crisis outfit was getting together the Avengers.
But I think before that though was Fury goes out for a walk, gets
kidnapped.
Yeah, he gets
kidnapped. Big black man in Russia is going to come.
Olivia Colman's character, Sonia Falsworth.
Sonia.
I love Olivia Colman.
Now,
is that who that was?
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't in the comics? Isn't she the original Spitfire from the Defenders? Or the Invaders?
Sonia Falls. I don't think so.
Sonia Falls.
No, she was just an MI6 agent and a friend of Nick Fury, I think.
Sonia Fallsworth.
Yeah, I'm looking her up.
Boswell. No.
Yeah, no, it's MI6 agent. Yeah, Fury. Yeah.
Yeah, she was just an MI6. She wasn't Spitfire. No.
Okay, I felt like I recognized the name from the comics somewhere, but maybe it was something similar.
No, actually, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Fallsworth, the page I saw there, that's just about her. No, she's an original character. She's not even in the comics. So this is Sonia Fallsworth is a brand new character.
Okay.
So, but we see Nick Fury and Maria Hill, who I actually like seeing Maria Hill again. I thought Colby Smulders playing her was really good. So we see the two of them and Talos kind of do this little. We kind of get this confab or just like the situation. This is what's going on. The Skrulls now want the Earth for themselves, thanks to Captain Marvel bringing in her involvement. And she said she'd help the Skrulls find a home, and I guess they took too long. Yeah, she disappeared. They took too long, and now the Skrulls want Earth. So way to go, Carol. You messed up on that.
I thought they said Fury was supposed to find the place, but
I thought Danvers was. It's been a while.
They said Danvers and Fury, but it took forever. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
So basically, everybody is bad.
It was a team effort between the two.
So basically, a group of
it was a team failure.
Yeah.
A group of young zealots, Skrulls, want to.
I was partially right. It's Jacqueline Fallsworth that was the Spitfire.
Okay.
So that's why the last name felt familiar.
I gotta say, I feel bad for Maranya that he's War Machine in here, but we only saw Brody.
And God, I hated that scene. That was so just a 1 minute scene that could have been completely cut out of this. All it tells you is I guess supposedly that Hill and Fury are running off book.
Yeah, they're AWOL.
The story.
Yeah,
big deal.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah. Well,
it doesn't hurt the story, but it doesn't. I mean, maybe it'll come. Maybe it's something that'll come into play further in the season.
Well, what'll come into play is probably the next episode. And this whole government versus Nick Fury.
It's gonna come out that Nick Fury killed Agent Smulders. They're gonna because the Skrull took his form.
Oh, maybe. Oh, by the way, spoiler.
Well,
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Did you see the thumbnail?
Yeah, I saw the thumbnail. I'm just saying, it just jumped straight to the end. Just jump to the big thing at the end.
But you see, I actually feel that's. I don't know if you were here for it, Zach. I don't think you were. I feel like the pacing of this episode.
No, I was here.
Yeah. Just kept moving. It was one thing after another after another.
I didn't hate the pacing. I
we
thought
had
it was...
two scenes where we actually got to breathe, and one was being introduced to the Skrull network, New Skrulla or whatever it's called.
New Skrulls.
And then when Fury got to sit down with Colby Smolder for a minute and say
basically, the chess game, basically.
Yeah, you've been gone for a while. And I don't know if you're ready for this. You told me before, blah blah blah.
I thought that was interesting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought that was cool though. Or not cool, I guess, but it's interesting because Fury, up until now, he has been like any of the other movies. He is that guy that has like a backup plan for backup plans. now, like ever since the blip, he's having like it's his Iron Man 3 basically, where Tony Stark is having the PTSD and the trauma. Yep. Now Nick Fury's kind of having that because you see him kind of flashing back to when he gets dusted.
Yeah, so, which actually, that's one of the things that I liked about Iron Man 3. Everybody gives it a hard time, but I liked Iron Man overcoming that difficulty.
So my thing is,
to that point, it's supposed to be about growth. If you aren't grown by the end of your show or movie or whatever, then what was the point?
Yeah, but how could he have PTSD? Because he just kind of just disappeared. It's not like he was in like a cell being tortured.
Dude, if you get like blipped out and then you come back 5 years later and like so much has moved on and changed.
Not only that, the displacement from a man who always was 4 steps ahead of everyone around him, always prepared to be taken out of reality and plopped back in 5 years later. He didn't have any backup plans. He had nothing. He wasn't prepared for that. Nobody can prepare for that.
Yeah. It's with Fury being the way Fury is, I could see it being a very life-altering.
So let me ask you a question then. Where has this been discussed prior to him returning in this show?
Where's who? Where's what? I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that.
We're all talking about, Fury, has been affected by the blip, blah, blah, blah. Granted, I haven't seen every MCU movie, since Endgame. So is this the first time this has all come to light? That
I don't think Fury's been
because
in anything.
After Endgame, what came next was Far From Home, and that's revealed that Talos has been in the place of Agent Fury. Of Nick Fury. Yeah, of Nick Fury. So Fury hasn't been back.
Talking about that, I mean that was in like one 60-second post-credit scene that
Fury's been gone a long time.
A lot of people, didn't see, and so, for myself included, a lot of people are going to go, we're used to kick-ass Nick Fury, and suddenly we get this broken shell of a person who looks nothing like the character that we're used to.
Well, I mean, if you've seen Infinity War, you know that Fury gets dusted.
You know that he's been dusted.
It's the very last scene.
It's revealed in his next appearance, which is Far From Home. It isn't really Fury. So Fury has been gone effectively since the blip.
Right. You do see him. He does show up. Like you see him. He doesn't have a role. He doesn't say anything. You do see him though when they do Tony Stark's wedding at the end of Endgame.
Wedding.
Not wedding. Funeral. Not funeral. Wedding.
Yeah.
The other big event. You see him standing there. So you
see him standing in the distance watching.
So you know he comes back. But
basically what this is saying is Fury got back. They started a new space program, and basically Fury signed himself off to be shipped off away from Earth.
Right.
To shut himself away.
But nothing with Fury has been, and I haven't seen every Phase 4 film, but all the ones I've seen, nothing. Nick Fury hasn't shown up.
Do we know how long he's been gone on the Saber project?
Oof. See, that I'm not sure because time is still very weird. Yeah. It's 2025, right? When everybody gets back.
Yeah.
Or no, it's 2023. So right now they're in 2025.
No, I thought they'd be in 28 because then it's 5 years later.
It's 5 years since everybody returned?
Endgame is 5 years after Infinity War.
Infinity War was 2017.
Yeah, and then Endgame was in 2018.
Yeah, but that's 5 years later then.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So wouldn't it still be 5 years later now? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to say, though, you're still kind of making my point for me in terms of look at how much stuff you're having to try and explain, and all of this stuff that you're trying to remember from 7 years ago that isn't in the show. And, again, if you're just a casual person going, Secret Invasion, they've hyped this up, let me go check it out, you're going to have a completely different reaction than somebody who is deeply, buried into the MCU lore.
I don't know because
are we comic book fans? Aren't these conversations that we have every day with other comic book fans?
Yeah,
Didn't this happen in this issue? No, that was in the separate storyline over here.
Yes, but listen to me though. He has a point. The normies don't do that shit.
Who cares?
But
here's the thing. I had to care about normies.
Okay, but if you are a normie, they do show the flashback to him getting dusted, like the blip.
The show is not made for comic book fans. It's made for the normies, though.
So you do get an idea that, Fury... most of the normies have seen Infinity War and Endgame. I think that's a safe bet to say. So, this show, where it picks up, I actually think it works because you don't have to watch any of Phase 4 because Nick Fury's not in any of it. So you can pick this up. They mention that Fury got dusted. They show him getting dusted. You get that. The stuff they mention with the Skrulls, like, this Skrull's dead, her daughter's here, that stuff, it might be a little jolting. I mean, as
it is jolting because they still haven't shown the death.
They haven't shown anything
about it, but we need to see it.
So that's something that, like I was saying, I think they might elaborate and build on as the show goes on, maybe. If they don't, I'm going to have some serious issues and questions about that.
So my question is this going to be another buddy cop like Falcon and the Snowman?
I don't think so. Why would it be?
Trying to stop two guys working together to stop terrorists?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Even if it is,
it seems very much like the Nick Fury show, and then he's got like his various co-stars, like he had Colby Smulders,
in order to get me to keep watching this, he better get over his PTSD soon.
Well, that's part of the growth, Froggy.
That's growth.
He had how many freaking years?
You're so used to reading your Silver Age Spider-Man where nothing changes for Peter Parker in the space of an issue.
Show me how much you've actually read. Nothing. Because that's a false statement.
Except for the big ones. Most of the issues, he starts one way, he ends the same way. Most of the time. At least 60%
he just got over Gwen Stacy in one issue, didn't he?
All right, that was that was a canon event. I'm going to use a Spider-Verse term. That was a canon event. That wasn't like, this is the Rhino breaking into a building. One of those standard issues.
Jameson just never bothered him after that first issue.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Puppetine. I'm with you.
One other thing, that again goes against the Fury character is outside of a small group of people.
Mm-hmm.
When has Nick Fury ever trusted anyone else? That was kind of the one thing that bugged me a little bit about the ending was.
That's true. That's a good point.
Previous, comic book Nick Fury, earlier MCU Nick Fury is not trusting anybody in that situation.
That's accurate. I think that's accurate.
And of course, at the same time, I knew immediately that, it was, they were being led down a path, shall we say.
Yeah, no, I get that. He now thinking back on it when when Talos comes and he's like, oh yeah, Emilia Clarke, she's on our side now. She's gonna blah blah blah. It did seem a little too dry.
It makes sense for him because it's his daughter and he wants
him. Yes, but then Fury just being so. Fury just being so like okay.
Yeah, for Fury to just go, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's go. And
I could see that.
See, that's why that talk between Colby Smolder and Fury is important. Maria Hill tells him basically, hey, you've been out of the game for this long. You were cut out. You went up to space. You're not ready for this. And somebody's going to get hurt. Who gets hurt? She gets hurt. They're led directly into a trap. You're right. Because he wasn't prepared for it like he normally should have been. And that's the point. He isn't ready. And by the end, he'll be back to himself. But we have to go through the journey first. We have to go through the motions. That's how a story is. You have to have that issue where he's going. You have to have that issue where Spider-Man is going through the trauma of losing Gwen Stacy. So that way you can get back to the character you know. You have to go through this misstep, that misstep, so we can have what we want.
I'll have to say,
Yeah.
I cannot believe Disney has not put you on the payroll yet, Puppetine.
Yeah. So the other thing, for those who don't know about this show, they had a lot of reshots throughout of this stuff. You can kind of tell as they go through the montage. That's consequently one of some of the stuff doesn't really connect. It just kept moving forward and forward because he has reshot after reshot after reshot, and they kind of loosely put it together.
Did they say why it was getting so many reshoots? Because when did this start production? Because if it started mid-COVID and then they had to stop, and it was one of the last to actually return from COVID shots to go ahead and get together, then it makes sense.
Let's see if I can't find out production.
Yeah.
Zach, our guy in the chair.
Well, I don't want to be the guy in the chair.
Yeah. So I mean, while he's looking, I mean, just one thing is I'll say is, at least for me, and maybe it's because I've watched so many spy shows in the past and what have you, but everything was predictable.
Well, yeah, and then the other thing too is we're supposed to have next year we're supposed to have the new Brave World Older. We're supposed to have Harrison Ford
Brave
come
New
out.
World.
Yeah.
So yeah, so a lot of theories that I've been seeing is that the president that's shown in this one is actually going to be revealed to be a Skrull, so that way they can make way for Ross Harrison Ford to come in and take.
So production on Secret Invasion started in September of 2021. So not in the middle of COVID, I guess. Not like, at least not in the middle of lockdowns.
No, not
I
at
guess
all.
it was still around. But yeah, so it did go through reshoots. The reason they say is kind of vague. The guy that they questioned said that it was done to make the series better and go deeper than before. They also brought a new writer on to do for the reshoots as well. So yeah, it doesn't give a whole lot of explanation there. That's
so something happened behind the scenes, and
yeah,
then
probably some rewriting happened in the 11th hour. Yeah.
Okay, well, we've talked about Colby Smulders dying for the last half hour, so we've pretty much reached the end.
So I'll just point out hopefully this at the end of this episode, the reason why they killed off the best actress in the MCU, Colby Smulder.
What?
Is to enrage Nick Fury because now his best friend has been murdered. So maybe he'll get off his ass and shave.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, we'll get the training montage. He gets into shape, but yeah, I mean, I guess just real quickly to just kind of summarize things. So you've got the scene where Fury meets with an MI6 counterpart who's Olivia Colman, who was just fine.
Yeah,
he plants a little bug in there that turns out to be some kind of Skrull hologram type camera, whatever. So they learn that MI6 has intelligence, that the outlaw Skrulls are in their next step of the plan to get some quote unquote bomb materials or whatever from this guy, and so they wind up the three of them, Hill, Talos, and Fury, go and track down to this art place where at the same time that's where Talos's daughter, was it Geely or
Gala, something like that.
Emilia Clarke.
Apostrophe something. Goes to pick up the stuff. Fury and Talos are basically too late. They confront the guy. A guy turns out to be a Skrull. There's a decent fight between Talos and the guy, and of course Fury puts 2 bullets in him at the end, and Talos is like, no, because Talos doesn't want to hurt anybody. Hill winds up following Emilia Clarke, through things. That was one other thing that just kind of just in terms of continuity, was she follows her, to a place. Obviously, it looks like it's about to be some kind of trap. Goes through the door, confronts her. They have a fight, and then she gets away. But then Talos is immediately on her tail, and it was kind of like, okay, when did she radio to them that, oh yeah, she had trailed her to this point? But anyways, so then there becomes a confrontation.
Your mother died. Well, you were out playing vigilante or whatever.
Yeah. She was working for her killer.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
They
So-
killed your mother. You're working
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Prepare
yeah.
to die. Wait, no.
And let's see, the head terrorist, God, what's his name? Gallic?
Gravik.
Gravik, yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, then we're to assume then that Talus's wife, for some reason, was working with Greylick, and at least to Talus's mind, he killed her. Now, of course, I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that's not the case, but we'll see. I mean, I'm still waiting for the moment where they try to somehow rationalize that the outlaw Skrulls, well, their heart's in the right place. They just didn't do the right thing.
Well, so anyway, so she, they have the heart to heart. I remember that she tells her father, like, I'll help. There go these bombs, they want to set off, and the 3 bombs. I'll mark the bags with these infrared paints. So they put on their Stark glasses so they can see where the infrared bags are, and it's basically they turn out to be decoys, and the bombs go off. In the mist, Colby Smulders is shot by Nick Fury, but it's not Nick Fury. It's Gravik, who then kept posing as an old man who we saw at the bar before, and then he's also posing as a little girl with a ball. And it's just like, what is with this guy?
He's everywhere, and he can change rapidly into whoever he needs to be to blend in. And it should be pointed out too. So they're masquerading themselves as we'll call them a terrorist group called Americans Against Russians. The bombs were exploded during Unity Day in the middle of Moscow. So therefore, quote unquote, these American terrorists are going to get blamed for bombing Russia because ultimately the Skrulls want humanity to wipe themselves out so the Skrulls can have Earth all to themselves.
Yeah.
Yep,
And
they
That's
want
pretty
Earth.
much it.
Yeah.
But the good Skrulls are fighting to save Starbucks
That's right.
and
To
California.
be
Rhaegar,
fair, right now we only have one good Skrull, and that's Taylor's.
Rhaegar, I have to say that I don't expect them to do this. I think Colby Smolder is actually killed at the end because Fury does get thrown by the guy. She gets shot because in the confusion as the bombs start happening, and Fury's just there watching and sees that and doesn't have the time to shoot. After that, though, he disappears, turns into Fury to trick Maria Hill for 1 second, shoot her.
Yeah,
She falls to the ground, and
the camera lingers on her for a good while too. Like they show earlier in the episode, they show like when a Skrull who's passing as a human dies, they turn into a Skrull relatively quickly, and the camera lingers on Colby
And don't forget too that the creators hate us and hate most of the regular audience, so she's dead.
Well, they're also getting rid of the most original cast of the Avengers. They're getting rid of them.
Yeah.
So this episode's called Resurrection.
Yeah.
Are they gonna bring her back to life?
I don't think that's what it's referring to.
I think the resurrection is of Nick Fury, who,
yeah,
like his as he has been, he hasn't been himself, and so now this is the resurrection of Fury, but him coming back, he wasn't ready for it, but he's going to be ready by the end, and he's going to grow and change. But overall, I think the episode is fine. My issues were mostly with the pacing. I hope the next episode is a little bit better because it's just, again, it was kind of, let's throw you in the middle of this. The opening was great, but as soon as you get past the AI credit screen, it's really AI.
I didn't even get to. I didn't even watch the credits. I knew I was pressed for time, so I just tried to skip ahead.
Yeah, the whole AI opening credits. Apparently, people are pissed off, and I'm like, oh, use AI.
I was talking to a friend about this earlier today because he's not watching the show because he doesn't want to support the whole AI taking over people's jobs. And I was like,
well, if you're paying for Disney Plus, you already supported it.
Yeah, that's also true.
I mean, honestly, they shouldn't be pissed at it. They should be laughing at it because the credits are terrible.
Yeah,
they don't. I understand the tone kind of fits like with Secret Invasion.
The use of it.
I can understand like the tone that it sets, but
the graphics looked awful. It would be fine.
I know.
They looked sketchy.
They looked wrong.
Yeah, just
They-
almost
yeah.
like Skrulls impersonating people would be wrong.
Oh, don't give them that much.
I'm
credit.
just saying.
I think I do have to give him that much credit for that one.
Well,
But,
all I'm going to say is don't forget that because this production started in September 21, this still has Victoria Alonso's fingerprints all over it. So
I want to applaud them for finally finding a use for AI. So when it has 6 hands, it's an alien Skrull. 6
That's right.
fingers and all stuff.
yeah, no, this was a 5 out of 10.
Can we get Chat GP for the new writers for the scripts of the shows?
I'd be all for it.
I think I'd give it a 7. It's definitely higher quality than most of the other Marvel shows that I've seen. At least going off of one episode. I would say one episode of this is higher caliber. Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
let's
god.
see. I mean, She-Hulk episode 1 was a 2.
Well, yeah, we're not. Yes, they're not even in the same ballpark.
I gotta agree with LK and say this episode was.
Oh,
Yep.
It's like
Very
I said,
good.
I'm not really going to give him a rating. I think it's fine.
I think it was fine. I heard some people refer to it as the Andor of the MCU.
Oh
yeah,
no.
that's a little bit silly.
There's a bunch of shill media that is trying to play this up as, oh, this is going to be the Andor of the MCU in terms of how it's going to be, and it's like, no, it's not.
Could be. I think it could be. It's a more serious looking show. I think it's got a lot more intrigue to it than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm sorry, Puppetine. I didn't care for a lot of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I
like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Gee,
I liked more than half of it, but then the other part of it just fell flat for me.
I've never heard of this show before.
This could be, it is Falcon and the Snowman. Yeah, but I think I'll have to see. I think it's 6 episodes long.
Yep.
The show. Yeah, 6
so
episodes.
we have.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
No, that
wasn't this show that's not bait for us?
Who said that?
Who said that?
Rhaegar.
Rhaegar said that.
Said it to me,
Oh,
yeah.
Rhaegar said
So,
it. Okay.
Yeah, and I cannot wait for episode 2 based on reviews I've heard. So, next week will be a show with fireworks, shall we say?
Well, as long as your source wasn't Doomcock. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like.
Right.
That's right. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Farewell.
Remember, start all Skrulls on fire.
What?